Don't ever let coldness reach your heart. Don't ever let hate or confusion or doubt reach your heart. I love Khalil Gibran's idea when, I was raised, God's in my heart. How many were raised in one of those? I got it in my heart. Okay. Well, Gibran said, wait a minute. God is not in our heart. We are in the heart of God. See the difference? There's no spot where God is not. Everywhere you go, it's there, and it's only waiting for you to recognize it. And the minute you do recognize it at any person, place, and thing, what happens? It recognizes you. It's waiting on who? It's waiting on you. Your greater good, your change for the better, your answer to any problem in your life is waiting on you, not somebody else. Because the somebody else that you're waiting on is only waiting for you to do what? To become the consciousness of the answer. And the minute you do, the answer shows up. Okay. How many know people who know there is the possibility of an answer, but they would rather be the consciousness of a victim? Or the consciousness of poor little old me, or the consciousness of whatever. And if that's your consciousness, I tell you what, you'll fill your world with it. Because why? Because the power within you cannot say no. But what we need to do is stop saying yes to yesterday, say no to it, and begin to say yes to now. This is Aristotle's idea. Say no to your memory, no to the yesterday that you had. Pull the strength out of it, the lessons out of it, and stop experiencing all the cause of what you say you don't want. Okay? Our challenge again is to understand. We see it in every teaching around us if we look for it. All the great teachers taught it, both East and West. And the biblical story of Jacob. We go back and we read this story, and the idea is to read it not as a literal thing that happened, but as a metaphysical lesson. In the story, he cheats his brother out of his birthright. He deceives his father. Now, he fears that his brother's going to retaliate. His brother's going to get even. And he runs away. And that night, if you read the story, he has a dream. And in the dream, he dreams that there's a ladder that's descending from up above, and it's coming down. And he looks at the ladder, and at the top of the ladder, God is there. And he looks at this experience, and whatever's at the top of the ladder tells Jacob that great things are going to happen to his descendants. Now, if you look up to the top of the ladder, which means look higher than your experience, and you pay attention to the lesson that's at the top of the ladder, the lesson said, if you listen to me, your descendants are going to prosper, and your descendants are your ideas becoming form, your thoughts becoming thing, your consciousness becoming event. You don't have to coerce it. You don't have to beg it. You don't have to do anything but be it in consciousness. We don't treat for things. We treat to become the consciousness of the thing we want. Now, at first, Jacob in this story is frightened. He's very, very frightened about this. Why? Because this power standing at the top of the ladder was speaking directly to him. He's going, I've told you the story recently of the woman who's treating for 10 years, day after day after day, to win the lottery, and finally God says, I've had it, and appears right before her and says, she gets all upset, and I've been treating 10 years to win the lottery. He says, so buy a ticket already? How many are treating to win the lottery and they won't buy a ticket? Now, it says in the Bible, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. Okay. How many have a problem that you're dealing with right now? Think about it. Everybody say with me, surely the Lord is in this place. and I knew it not. Now let's add one to it. I know it now. Do you know it now? What's the Lord? The Lord is the law. The law is in place. The law of mind. Our challenge is, what did the choir sing last week? Absolutely wonderful. Shower the people you love with love and let them know it's real. Okay? Shower every part of your life with love and let every part of your life know it's real. See, that's the challenge. The opportunity to do this is absolutely wonderful when we begin to celebrate. Over time in this story of Jacob, we discover that he reconciles with his brother. Everything is forgiven. He begins to understand God, or infinite intelligence, in a deeper way, in a healthier way, in a happier way. He begins to realize that the greatness that he was experiencing in God as God is everything he is in the story. You see, in truth, and this is what religious scientists, unity, divine science, all metaphysics understands, God is in this place. I am moving from God through God to God all the time. Our dear friends in the Jewish tradition, on Friday, if you go to a Seder or you go to an experience in their place of worship, someone will say to you, Shabbat Shalom. We celebrate God in this day, in the now that we're in this moment, in this sacred place. I had a wonderful teacher. I was very fortunate to study with Rabbi Ernest Tratner and Rabbi Edgar Magnin. I studied the Torah, the Old Testament. The stories, the literature, what they mean metaphysically. These were two Jewish metaphysicians. One of my students is one of the rabbis up in Portland. He called me and said, I'm the new rabbi in Portland. I said, that's wonderful. I said, what are you teaching? He said, Jewish science. What else? Okay. But one of my teachers said to me once, he said, you know, if everybody was to embody what is taught in religious science and become one with it, said Friday wouldn't just be Shabbat Shalom, every day would be Shabbat Shalom. Every moment would be Shabbat Shalom. You see, when we wake up and say, okay, the confusion, doubt, and fear that came upon me produced this experience, I now heal it because I know what is the truth of it, even if I didn't know it before. Even if I know it not, as it says in Jacob's story. You see, it is when we begin to recognize that we are always in divine companionship in this thing called life, that which made us out of itself is everything we are. And if we allow ourselves to open to this understanding, we discover that the understanding itself begins to guide us into greater success beyond anything we've ever imagined before.